On this episode of Racing on the Job, a race car is only as fast as the grip provided by its tires. Even the smallest adjustments greatly affect how a car behaves. Meet the tire specialists who oversee every detail when the rubber meets the road.
Go ahead, Turkey, you start.
My name is Jamie Tursky. Everybody calls me Turkey. I'm the tire specialist on the 19 Cup car.
My name is Kerry Ferris. Everybody knows me as Herm, and I'm the tire specialist on the 11 car.
You need everything on a race car to run right, but if the four pieces that are hitting the ground aren't running right, then the rest of it is not going to fall into place.
Well, I think about the tire guys, I can tell you this, that in our technical meetings and with the engineers here, one of the most important things, they work a lot with simulation on trying to use computers to figure out what makes the cars handle well. And the number one thing in that simulation is tires.
There's definitely way more to a race tire than people realize. You don't just get there, grab four tires and throw them on the car. There's left sides, there's right sides, there's different compounds at pretty much every single track we go to now.
Okay, so here we have a Nascar tire. Basically, this is what we're going to get when we get to the racetrack.
As you notice, the tire doesn't have any tread on it. Your road tire has tread, mostly because of rain, dirt, all of that. Like road tires are hard, they're made to last 30, 40,000 miles, where obviously our tires last, if we can get 50, 100 miles out of them, they're good, but that's where the speed comes from.
Primary responsibilities are to collect as much data from the tire, check the tire for damage or anything before practice, qualifying, or the race, and report all that back to the crew chief and engineers.
Crew chiefs, they're like coaches. When I was coaching football, these guys are the guys making decisions. And as soon as those tires come off, you see that crew chief, and many times they'll walk down there to talk to the tire guy.
So before a pit stop, and it can be 20 laps before the car comes in, and it can be 20 seconds before the car comes in. The crew chief will come over and say, take a half pound out of the right front tire. So you run and take that half pound out. So it definitely can get very, very chaotic quickly.
Tire specialist is one of those people that is probably one of the more entry-level jobs, but at the same point is one of the most important guys on the team. They end up dealing with the tires, which ultimately is what the driver feels on the racetrack. So he ends up changing air pressures, tire wear, all that kind of stuff, which really affects the race car in a hurry.
All right, what we have here is all the tools we basically use throughout the weekend. The tire torch, when it comes in, they scrape the tires. So each tire has 5 holes. What we do is we have this tread depth gauge that's got a pointer at the bottom. So you get it in the hole. This one reads 72, 83, and so on for the next 3. Once the tires run, we get our torch, scrape all the excess rubber off of it, and the number I just checked, 72, will wear. So if I check it again after a race, it may say 62, so it'll wear 10 millimeters.
One of the first things you do when you're getting any of the information from the tire for the crew chiefs is to check the tire pressure. All the tires for left or rights need to be set at a certain pressure before you get any wear numbers, any rollout numbers, which is the diameter of the tire, so that way they're as consistent as possible. The next thing we have here is a tire temperature gauge. It'll actually take multiple readings across the tire to tell us how hot the tire is in certain locations. We also have a track temp gauge, so we can read the track temperature of the pavement or concrete depending on which track that we're at. And then we have our scanner here that we have everything from Goodyear put into, so we can put the tires into sets and make them as consistent as possible for the race. And then one of the first things that we use at the racetrack on the weekend is a tire roller.
All right, so one of the things we do when we first get the tire is check the measurement on them. So that's why we have this tire roller that we put the tire on. A tape measure, which is in millimeters. We take one of the wear hole in the center, put our tape measure in it, measure it, which this one is 62 millimeters, and then write it down and put it in our information. And 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, which doesn't look like a lot in a tape measure, is huge on the racetrack.
They have a lot to do with the outcome of those weekends. So anybody handling that job is a huge deal for us. I got great respect for them.
I tell people all the time I love to do it because it's my own individual thing. It's my own responsibility, and that's just a big part of why I love doing tires. I'm Jamie Tursky.
And I'm Kerry Ferris.
And we're tire specialists here at Joe Gibbs Racing.
And we're racing on the job.